Festival of Pacific Arts. KUAM 2016. What we own, what we have, what we share. United Voice of the Pacific.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&D.
KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia for over 75 years. Matson Navigation, proud sponsor of FestBack 2016, Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion, IP&E, fueling excellence, McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, Pacific Solar, and Chuck E. Cheese's Guam, where all games are just one token.
An emotional hearing was in court today as a motions hearing was held for Mark Torrey Jr. on trial for murder.
And a UOG professor facing criminal charges appears for the first time in the Superior Court. And
another student has been arrested, this time for attempted terrorist conduct. Whether you're watching us locally or globally on the internet on our YouTube channel, Hafaday, and thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody. Well, the murder trial was scheduled to get underway in a few weeks, but after hearing in the Superior Court today downtown, that, Bree, will not happen.
Crystal Paco joins us in studio with the latest on the case involving a former police officer, Mark Torrey Jr.
Bree and Jason, tensions were high in Judge Michael Bordalio's courtroom this morning. On one side, you had family and friends of the late Albert Piolo, a longtime GPD officer who was allegedly fatally shot last summer. On the other side, the supporters of Mark Torrey Jr., the sole suspect in Piolo's alleged murder. Although Torrey was set to face a jury next month, the judge said today that both parties have agreed to tentatively continue trial to June due to the availability of expert witnesses. Until then, the court is taking action on a motion to suppress footage from a body camera worn on a responding police officer.
Who pulled the trigger? Despite a medical examiner ruling the case was a homicide, footage captured on a body camera worn by a responding police officer the morning of Albert Piolo's death indicated Mark Torrey Jr. implied the gunshot wound was self-inflicted. As we've been reporting, Piolo was shot in the chest in July of 2015. When Piolo called 911 for help, he told dispatchers Mark Torrey Jr. was with him at the time of the shooting. A suppression hearing was held on Wednesday to determine whether the footage would hold up in court. The defense filed a motion against the footage on grounds that Torrey wasn't advised of his Miranda rights, nor does GPD have any rules or regulations regarding body cameras. According to court filings, the body camera was worn by GPD officer John Edwards. Up first on the stand, however, was Officer Barry Flores, the supervisor for the Dededo Precinct and one of the first to arrive at the Torreys' Jigo home, the scene of the alleged crime. Although the video was shown in court, the media and public were banned from viewing it. We were only allowed to listen and have the video narrated by Flores. Flores says Torrey appeared to be intoxicated and smelt of alcohol. Other conversations are captured, but not all the speakers are identified. When Torrey is asked if there was a struggle between the men, he states, quote, "not even," end quote, between sobs. Torrey also implies problems with a girlfriend and says, quote, "he was unstable," end quote, "it killed me. It tripped me out. I told him to stop and he just let it loose," end quote. Flores is audible asking Torrey about the shooting, if it occurred in the truck, outside the truck, and if it was self-inflicted, which Torrey responded by nodding up and down as if to gesture yes. Flores clarifies that Torrey was never read his Miranda rights because he was not a suspect at the time. He also clarifies that the officers putting their hands on Torrey's shoulders are consoling him, not apprehending him.
Bree and Jace, today's hearing was continued to Friday at 1:30 in the afternoon. We anticipate Officer Edwards will take the stand to testify on the footage he captured on the body camera he was wearing that morning. Following today's hearing, KUAM approached Piolo's only brother, Edison, for comment, where he expressed shock and stated, quote, "we'll just keep doing what we're doing," end quote. Since Piolo's passing, family and friends have held Justice for Bert rallies throughout the island. Back to you.
Thanks, Crystal, for that report. We should also add the judge banned the use of all audio during today's hearing.
And everybody, if you'll recall, we've been asking you for your input on whether local police should be required to wear body cameras, which, as Crystal did note in her piece, is a key point made by the defense. So let's now take a look at how you voted in our latest Pulse of the People poll. Our Twitter vote tallies show that overwhelmingly you favored such practice, with 68% of you voting in favor of that move. Conversely, 17% of you said that body cams should not be used, while 15% remain undecided.
From the Northern Court in Dededo, a University of Guam professor appears before a judge to answer 2 criminal charges.
He's been at the center of beef between Adelup and University of Guam leadership, but today, longtime University of Guam psychology professor Dr. Michael Ellert was up front and center, appearing before Superior Court Judge Alberto Tolentino. From the jump, it was clear he didn't want to be filmed.
Before we commence, Your Honor, I would object to the use of cameras in these proceedings. Your Honor, I would ask that the photographs and images and recordings not be allowed and transmitted. The objections are moved.
After the judge overruled the motion to ban cameras, Ellert would enter his plea. He was indicted on January 11th on 2 counts of third-degree criminal sexual conduct as a second-degree felony, 5 counts of fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct as a misdemeanor, and 3 counts of official misconduct as a misdemeanor. The charges stem from an incident that occurred at an off-campus event on Halloween 2014, during which he allegedly sexually assaulted 2 students.
Your Honor, we wish to enter a plea of not guilty. We demand jury 12, request grand jury recordings and transcripts. You request discovery and notice.
The judge granted his requests, including waiving his right to a speedy trial. Ellert is scheduled to appear for a trial setting on February 16th at 9 o'clock in the morning before Superior Court Judge Vern Perez. The OG professor was released on a $10,000 performance bond. Governor Eddie Calvo, meanwhile, has been critical of UOG leadership's handling of the case and has requested a legislative investigation. UOG President Dr. Robert Underwood welcomes one, as he maintains all procedures were followed.
Elsewhere tonight, he allegedly attacked a man with not 1 but 2 machetes he pulled out of his waistband. 35-year-old Mauri Nerol was arrested and charged with attempted murder and aggravated assault. When located by police, he appeared to be intoxicated. Police noted injuries consistent with the report of the victim. The victim stated he did not know why he was being attacked and thought he was going to be killed. Nerol was booked and confined.
It seems the string of bomb scares is now leading to a string of arrests. And while those responsible may finally be paying the price, the innocent bystanders in the community and in schools may still be burdened with the consequences.
Isa Baza reports.
Law enforcement is hopeful the latest arrests in connection with the recent rash of bomb threats against local schools will send a strong message to other culprits behind what's been a massive waste of public emergency management resources, not to mention an island-wide scare. There have been at least 23 bomb threats received in the last 2 weeks, with 13 since Monday alone. Southern High School student Harris Joe Stephen, arrested for writing a bomb threat at Southern High, is the second 18-year-old to be arrested in connection with the recent threats against public schools. Roger Barcenia was the first 18-year-old previously arrested for 2 counts of terroristic conduct for writing a note saying he was going to bomb the boys and girls restroom at JP Torres Alternative School. More than a handful of other minors have also been taken into custody. These recurring threats have led DOE to impose stricter security measures at all schools and even more severe penalties for campuses that were affected. Aside from these, DOE Deputy Superintendent Chris Anderson confirmed DOE is considering extending the school year to deal with the loss of instructional time.
The possibility is definitely there that if we continue to have a rash of bomb threats, that the end of the school year could be extended. There's also a possibility that the instructional day could be extended. So nothing's off the table. As a matter of fact, the superintendent is going to ensure that our students meet the required instructional time.
He said the Guam Education Board will hold a work session to address the issue. While DOE explores this possibility, in the meantime, they are moving forward with their risk assessment matrix that would allow school administrators to assess the validity of potential bomb threats before calling in first responders.
We're meeting this morning with MRFC, Homeland Security, to finalize our product.
They hope to present this plan to the Guam Police Department and Guam Fire Department as soon as this Thursday. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isa Baza.
Thank you, Isa. Now, the recent bomb threats have disrupted the day-to-day lives of educators to law enforcement professionals and public safety officials, not to mention, of course, our island's youth.
And with the majority of students being frustrated and fed up, KUAM is planning a very special television event to start a conversation, look towards solutions, and air out concerns about this ongoing problem. On Wednesday, February 3rd at 6:30 p.m., It's No Joke, School Bomb Threats aims to gather DOE representatives, youth counselors, law enforcement, and students together for a community discussion.
We do invite you to tune in and join us live online and in chat on Twitter and on YouTube to please take a stand together as a community.
Still to come on Primetime, Guam fire battles a huge grass fire in southern Guam.
And we're also going to tell you about your congressional delegate providing an update on several federal issues to the business community. Nestor Lecanto is coming up next. Much more when Primetime returns.
Stay connected to the world at home from everywhere you are. Get the KUAM News app for the latest in local news, videos, sports, streaming, ISLA 63 AM, weather, and more. Available for free now in the iTunes App Store or Google Play.
Wow! You too can win in Calvo's Insurance Ride Your Dreams giveaway. If you are a Calvo's Insurance home or personal auto customer, you qualify to enter by texting LOYAL to 2015. And if you need an insurance quote, text quote to 2015 for a chance to win in our grocery giveaway. Thank you, Guam, for placing your trust in Calvo's. Insure with Calvo's today and ride your dreams to reality.
Your favorites will always be here. But this one won't last long.
Try the new Mushroom Swiss Quarter Pounder, now for a limited time. Get the meal for only $6.99.
It's Triple J Auto Group's Drive Now and Pay Later event going on now. Buy the car of your dreams and make no payment for 90 days. Get in an all-new Honda, Acura, Ford, Mazda, Lincoln, Volvo, or Kia and pay nothing for 3 months on approved credit. Plus, we've got unbelievable savings in all remaining 2015s and many 2016s. Now's the time to buy during Triple J's Drive Now, Pay Later event. Visit us online at carsguam.com and get pre-approved instantly. Download our free app on Apple and Google stores. Some conditions apply. See dealer for details. Triple J Auto Group. Customers.
Follow KUAM News on Twitter or become a fan on Facebook to get all your daily headlines from Guam's News Network.
Hafidin, welcome back. Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo predicts the long-awaited military buildup will ramp up very soon.
And in a speech today delivered before the Guam Chamber of Commerce, our congressional delegate said $1 billion for construction projects is just waiting in the wings, ready to be spent. But our next report is Nestor Lecanto.
Bordallo says this year's defense spending bill authorizes $272 million for projects related to the relocation of Marines from Okinawa.
That adds to nearly $800 million in unspent government of Guam or government of Japan funds. So there is a backlog of work that should begin here on Guam in the very near term.
And while she expects the money will begin flowing in for the buildup, that will not be the case for Guam's long-standing effort to increase compact impact funding.
The current budget environment in Washington makes the passage of additional appropriations in this Congress unlikely.
In the alternative, she has introduced legislation to provide relief in 4 specific areas. First, adopt a new formula so the federal government pays a bigger share of the costs of Medicaid and Medicare.
I do believe that this would be a significant cost savings to Guam, and it would free up the local funds that pay for Medicaid to be used to address the problems at GMH, for example.
The bill would also categorize elementary and secondary aged COFA students as federally connected children, making them eligible for impact aid.
This would provide direct federal assistance to the Department of Education for COFA students enrolled in the Guam public school system.
She also proposes reversing a 2012 Housing and Urban Development ruling on housing assistance priority.
It was not the intent of Congress to displace U.S. citizens when it extended eligibility to COFA migrants in 1998. So this bill clarifies that intent and ensures that U.S. citizens and nationals will receive housing benefits first.
Finally, her bill calls for an independent study of the Compacts of Free Association to provide strategic guidance upon renewal.
The compacts, as they are currently in place, are unsustainable, and we must have an objective analysis of them so that we do not repeat the same mistakes that we have made when they are renewed in 2023.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Thanks, Nestor. A massive grass fire has been burning across the valley and mountains along Cross Island Road. The Guam Fire Department has been battling the blaze all morning and afternoon. Guam Fire Department spokesperson Kevin Riley.
We got HSC5 that should be doing water drops shortly, so that's going to help us out a lot. It's with the wind and the dry conditions, it's going to be tough.
Along with the Navy helicopter also assisting Guam Fire is the Department of Agriculture's Forestry Division. As reported, the Guam Homeland Security Office of Civil Defense warned of an extremely active dry season. Homeowners should keep grass and brush trimmed far away from houses and other structures.
DPW Deputy Director Felix Beneventi does confirm the CORTEC protest was denied. CORTEC did file that protest after Guam Educational Facilities Foundation was determined to be the highest qualified bidder for the $100 million request for proposal to reconstruct Simon Sanchez High School in Jigo and to develop the comprehensive capital improvement program for the Department of Education. CORTEC claimed the RFP process violated local law in that it failed to take into account cost. Local law does mandate that government procurement be awarded to that company that provides the best overall value. The RFP focused on other factors aside from cost, including quality, the experience of contractors, and financing options. The AG also worked closely with DPW to ensure the RFP was legally sound. Beneventi said he could not release additional information because the procurement process continues to be ongoing.
At a meeting this afternoon, the Guahan Academy Charter School Council approved 3 budgets for fiscal year 2016-2017. These include the budgets for the council itself in the amount of $98,000, the budget for iLearn Academy Charter School in the amount of $3 million, and lastly, the budget for the Guahan Academy Charter School in the amount of $4 million. Guahan Academy asked for a maximum of 740 students, while iLearn asked for a max of 500, plus a supplemental budget of $300,000. The budgets will be submitted to the legislature for review.
To Utilities News now is a $5 million preventative maintenance contract to restore the Power Authority's mostly idle combustion turbine units was approved last night by the Public Utilities Commission. The older gear burns more expensive fuel, but GPA spokesman Art Perez says they provide faster, more reliable backup.
These units are able to respond a lot quicker to that fluctuation, and then while maintaining what we call frequency on the system. This is a power quality issue for GPA. What we don't want is for units to be tripping offline because the fluctuations in power. What we're going to do is stabilize that, and these combustion turbine units help maintain that.
The contractor Temis won the bid to restore and maintain the 40 megawatt Dedido combustion turbines. Perez says those turbines will eventually replace the temporary backup generators currently supplied by Agreco.
And once these 2 units have been PMC'd under that contract and brought online, then we can terminate those contracts with Agreco going forward and save some money for ratepayers.
The contract includes a pair of other combustion turbine units at Macheche in Dedido and up in Jigo.
From GPA to GWA, a busy stretch of highway in the central part of Guam remained closed today due to ongoing work due to a damaged sewer line. The northbound lane from the Sky Adrenaline Zone Guam office in Anigua to Southern Pacific at Adelup was shut down today and will possibly be so on Thursday. Crews worked on the broken line to prevent overflows for the line, which obviously carries hazardous materials.
All right, everybody, sports is coming up next. Plus, later in the cast, we're going to get you caught up with former Governor Felix Camacho. He's been keeping busy, and he's thinking green. We'll show you how when we come back.
Wanted person, Ho Kim Won, aka Won Ho Kim, and James Won Kim, male, Korean, 56, standing 5 foot 3 inches, weighing 155 pounds, with brown eyes and gray hair. Last known village, Tumuning. Wanted for violating the conditions of probation. If you have any information regarding this individual, or if the individual being sought would like to self-surrender, please contact the Marshals Division Criminal Section at 487-3786 or 475-3487. Or call Crime Stoppers at 477-HELP 4357. All calls will be kept strictly confidential.
Sunday barbecues are better when there's more than enough bandwidth to share. Sign up for GTA Fiber to the Neighborhood today and enjoy faster internet on more devices. GTA, your island, your faster fiber network.
Insure your auto or home with Alpha Insurers and get more chances to win awesome prizes with Alpha's Switch, Spin, and Win. Alpha Insurers will draw 3 winners every week and 1 monthly grand prize winner to spin Alpha's prize wheel for a chance to win an iPad mini, flat screen TV, gas cards, and so much more. Just switch or renew your auto or home insurance with Alpha Insurers and you automatically qualify. It's that easy. Call 477-8701 or 637-8833 for more details and you could be a winner for Alpha's Switch, Spin, and Win.
New year, new ride. It's Cars Plus New Year's sales event. For a limited time only, make no payments for 90 days. That's right, no payment for 90 days. The spacious award-winning Hyundai Santa Fe saved $4,000. The redesigned Hyundai Tucson saved $4,000. The luxurious Genesis by Hyundai saved $7,500. Now's the time to buy from Cars Plus during our New Year's sales event. And if we mention no payment for 90 days, get to Cars Plus and Mighty today before your favorite Hyundai is sold. Pre-apply at CarsPlusGuam.com. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Hey ho, on the road again, moving on forward. 6 stones won't break a bone. We're in the car on a highway. It's a magical feeling that no one's got home. You're a catalyst to your happiness, you know. This is your home, it's alive, it's pumping down. In a whole wide world, it's
What's that?
What? That? A hat? Do you like my hat?
No, that. They're towing our car.
Car, we've gone so far.
What's going on?
We can't afford to have it fixed because it's out of warranty.
Stop making excuses. Trade in your car at KUAM Auto Spot for a brand new Mitsubishi Lancer with a 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty. Make us an offer. Fill in the blank. What's your payment?
What's up, Guam? I'm Dave Delgado. Welcome to KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. I have some programming news to pass along to you in just a bit. But first off, some boys high school basketball, Bud Light Golden Hoops Classic news, along with some youth soccer for you. Check it out. We get the show started with IIAAG boys high school basketball from the St. Paul's Gym between the Warriors and Ukudu Bulldogs. Ukudu's #1 Blas with the three-pointer from up top. Warriors march down court and answer with the deep 2 from the corner, courtesy of Ethan Allegre. Ukudu trying to work their outside shooting off the missed three-point attempt. Lorenzo pulls down the rebound and goes back up with it, drawing contact for the shot and the foul. Jamon White drives to the basket and tries to get the floater in the lane to go. Eric Allegre cleans up around the glass and goes window for the finish. Multi-sport athlete Aiden Ferreira showing his range. Catch and shoot here. He buries the deep ball. The Warriors earn the win, but not the way they planned to after the refs called the game in the fourth quarter due to some ejections and disruptive fans in the stands. The Bud Light Golden Hoops Classic Spring 2016 tournament features 21 teams geared up to compete in their round-robin games. Village and organized club teams are competing in the men's varsity and co-ed recreation divisions through March 20th. Games are held on Sundays and Wednesday evenings at Winning Gym. For game schedules, official results, stats, and photo gallery, visit GuamBasketball.com or like them on Facebook and Instagram under GuamBasketball.com to receive live news feeds. Games continue tonight as we speak in the co-ed recreation division, with the last game of the night tipping off at 8:30 p.m. Turning over to some soccer news, in order to assist youth soccer clubs with player development, licensed coaches from the Guam Football Association Technical Department will be making scheduled visits to club training sessions as part of its new club and player development program. The program is meant to strengthen club teams for league play as well as develop individual players to help grow the sport of football in Guam. GFA licensed coaches will visit youth clubs and work with club coaches in running training sessions. 5 of 13 youth clubs already are on schedule. In addition, the GFA Technical Department has also released the official dates for the United Airlines GFA National Academy Girls Division Open Trials for the new U9 and U11 age divisions. For more information about the programs or the National Academy, contact the GFA main office at 637-4321 or email info@theguamfa.com. All right, make sure to catch Super Bowl 50 on the stations of KUAM. It's the Carolina Panthers taking on the Denver Broncos on KUAM TV 11. February 8th kickoff is scheduled for 9:30 in the morning. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
This is iPhone 6S. Not much has changed, except it feels different. Now you press lightly to peek and deeper to pop. It changes how easily you can peek a flight, check a post, search for dinner. Ooh, you guys are gonna love that place. You can find a getaway easier. Yeah, go there. And find music easier. Wait, are you listening to your own song?
No, I was, hello?
So pretty much everything you do feels different. And that's what's changed.
These used cars are Nissan certified, and let me show you why I stand behind every used car that we sell. First, our certified technicians inspect every used car to make sure it's safe, reliable, and mechanically sound. Then any scratches and dings are given first-class treatment at our body shop. And after thorough detailing inside and out, the car is ready for sale. At a price that's always below Blue Book. That makes Nissan used cars your best buy.
One of our main goals at Payless Supermarkets is to build a healthier, happier community. So in 2016, we want to introduce the redesigned Health Smart program. Meet our registered dietitian.
Half a day, I'm Rose.
She's here to assist you with nutritional education and simple ways to make healthier decisions while shopping. Together, we've created 7 health-related categories, and we'll be featuring products from each category every month. Look for these Health Smart labeled items on our shelves to help you find healthier choices for your dietary needs. You can also sign up for weekly store tours with Rose, where you can learn helpful nutritional information about Health Smart items. There will also be special deals after each tour or discounts for partnering gyms. Spaces are limited, so sign up at our service counters or at paylessmarkets.com. And if you're looking for some healthy ideas, visit us on Start Smart Mondays, where our Jackie Boots will be sampling delicious healthy products and recipes you can try at home. We hope to help you so that the healthy choice is also the easy choice for a healthier, happier you.
I am track trainer.
I'm a baller.
I'm a golfer.
I'm swimmer.
Hey, neighbor.
We are parents of an athlete.
I am a coach.
We are volunteers.
Let me win. Can I win?
Let me be brave in the attempt.
Make a difference in an athlete's life. Be a part of Special Olympics Guam.
Keep our dreams alive.
Get involved today.
Ruby Tuesday now gives you more for lunch. Endless trips to the Fresh Garden Bar, plus add-ons, mini combinations, and even new meal options. It's the new lunchtime menu, available Monday to Friday until 2 p.m., only at Ruby Tuesday.
It is time now for Think Green, and it's time to tell you about how a new partnership between an international firm and a small family-owned business aim to bring more efficient solar energy to the island. Once again, here's Isa.
Think Green is presented by Pacific Solar and Photovoltaics, keeping Guam green one roof at a time. Call 632-4002 for more information.
Guam, I think, has to get with the program.
Former Governor Felix Camacho is taking the leap to help his family go green.
We had an opportunity where we got a great deal on solar panels, and with LG being introduced to Guam, this is the first installation.
He installed 40 panels at his daughter's home last month.
We expect the power bill to be anywhere between $0 and $50 at the most per month. And that's a tremendous savings that they can, again, apply towards the financing of this project. So it pays for itself. And it's guaranteed for 25 years.
What used to be a $350 bill every month will become an estimated $82,000 savings over the next 25 years, thanks to the solar installation.
And with Guam and the abundant sunshine we have here, going green and going solar, I think is the way to go. It also reduces the carbon footprint. And it's in many ways, it's the family's contribution towards the environment.
This installation was the first collaboration between international company LG Electronics and locally owned Pacific Solar and Photovoltaics. Dan Wilson from LG Electronics says the company is based out of Seoul, Korea.
And we make some of the best solar panels in the world, highest efficiency, and energy storage systems as well.
Meanwhile, the project installer, Pacific Solar, is the longest running solar company on island.
With Pacific Solar, once we signed up with them, from start to finish, they handled everything. The application with GPA, the installation, the mounting of it, and within a couple of weeks it was done.
James from Pacific Solar says the time is now to go solar.
Financial incentives are there's a 30% tax credit that the homeowner can they can file at the end of the year. That's 30% of your investment back in the form of a tax credit. And I think production-wise, I think Guam is so close to the equator that, efficiency and productivity is bar none.
With this week's Think Green, I'm Isa Baza.
Think Green is presented by Pacific Solar and Photovoltaics, keeping Guam green one roof at a time. Call 632-4002 for more information.
All right, folks, here's what's going on with the weather. Mostly cloudy outside with isolated showers. Winds are blowing from the east to 15 to 20 miles per hour, lows from 75 degrees. Heading into the weekend, we've got partly cloudy skies with isolated showers on Saturday. Highs in the mid-80s, lows in the mid-70s. Might not be such a bad idea to bring a umbrella when you go to church.
All right, before we wrap this up, let's get to your birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. And happy birthday going out to Alberta Joe Quintanilla from Lori and kids and the Cabrera family.
Happy birthday to David C. Moffness. This comes from your wife, your kids, your grandkids, and great-grandkids. They all say, we love you. Well done.
And happy 13th birthday going out to Aubrey Joe Regis from Mommy and the family.
Happy birthday also going out to Greg J. Babauta. This comes from your entire family.
Happy 9th birthday to Javen Talaman. We love you from your family.
And the entire Villa Gomez family is celebrating tonight because it is a 72nd birthday and a very happy one to Johnny Villa Gomez. This comes from all of your kids as well as your grandchildren.
And happy belated birthday going out to Jared Quest.
All right, everybody. Register your birthday celebrants online at KUAM.com, then watch them right here. Stay tuned. More coming up after this.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&D.
The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to this episode, the first episode of 3 episodes, where my guest, of course, will be the Guam Attorney General, Liz Barrett Anderson. This segment, we'll be talking about Guam's plebiscite. So alongside Guam's Attorney General, Elizabeth Barrett Anderson, is Julian Uggan. Actually, we know him from not only the plebiscite case, but also the medical marijuana case. So good evening, Attorney General and Attorney. How you doing?
Good evening.
Both attorneys.
Yeah, we are. Thanks for having us.
Former judge, former
quite a lot. Still hanging in there.
There we go. But anyway, so the plebiscite, where are we at with this? And Attorney General, in regards to, what do you think again on the legal arguments that Mr. Davis has put before the courts?
Well, I've been asked that question quite a few times. The case is now back to Guam. The Ninth Circuit has sent the matter back. The judge here on Guam was reversed. I actually believe that the federal judge's decision here was absolutely correct. However, the Ninth Circuit disagreed. And we have since the case has been brought back. It's been set for trial for July of next year. But this is not a case that necessarily goes to trial on the merits. So we have filed, and Julian is a Special Assistant Attorney General, and we brought him on board because of his expertise. And we have filed a motion for summary judgment, and that was filed, was that October or November, Julian?
October 30th.
October 30th. And all the briefs are now in, and we're just waiting for a hearing date. Hopefully it'll be sometime in
Now, let me get it straight, because,
January.
okay, as a layman. And,
I know I'm talking a lot of legalese.
As a layman, my understanding on Mr. Davis prevailing in the appeals court, the Ninth Circuit, in the sense, just basically it said to come back to Guam, says, hey, listen to this guy. Listen to what he has to say. Is that pretty much in layman's terms?
It's very hard when you have two lawyers to be able to talk in layman's terms. I think, Jesse, that's probably a good way of depicting what the Ninth Circuit said. We're sending it back. We want the court on Guam, the federal court in Guam, to hear more argument on it. Because the issue was before here on Guam, the case was not ready. It's called not right, but it wasn't ready. And the Ninth Circuit said, no, we think the case is ready for argument. So that's where we're at right now.
Now, Julian, you've been at this ever since, even before you became a lawyer. and so, it's not, I mean, it would be surprised if you weren't involved in the case, actually. But this being the case, now, Mr. Davis' argument was basically said there's discrimination because of his race. But from my read, and I serve a little bit of time in the legislature, and we had some amendments in regards to plebiscite votes and things of that nature. But my read of what the law says was it's not based on race, but based on dates. And whoever was in Guam prior to 1950, and they weren't U.S. citizens then, and became citizens of the United States based on the date being here. You could have been black, you could have been Chinese, whatever you be. If you weren't a citizen, you became a citizen then. So it was based on that. So that argument is not really race-based, huh?
Yeah, true. Actually, that's the heart of the entire case. His central claim in this lawsuit is that the statutory definition that the Guam statute employs, native inhabitants of Guam, is essentially a race-based classification and therefore violates the 14th and 15th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution. And our argument clearly, first and foremost, is that native inhabitants of Guam is not actually a race-based classification. Instead, as you've well put, it's a temporal classification or purely about time and space, whether a person happened to reside in Guam and was extended formally U.S. citizenship by virtue of the enactment of the 1950 Organic Act. And actually, the plaintiff, even in his pleadings, he openly admits that hundreds of non-Chamorros were made citizens by virtue of the Organic Act. So clearly, it's a multiracial, multi-ethnic group of people that comprise the native inhabitants of Guam. So on its face, the statute says nothing about, it doesn't even use the word Chamorro. It says nothing about those. It doesn't actually preclude non-Chamorros from voting. It doesn't necessarily allow all Chamorros to vote. So in a pure sense, it's not a race-based classification. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but that being said, because again, from my read, it's not race-based. But when his argument then fall more closely to the legal protection argument, in regards to all citizens have the right for protection and rights under the Constitution.
And the Voting Rights Act.
Voting Rights Act, yeah.
Well, this is not a Voting Rights Act. This is a vote, as many have said, could mean something, it can mean nothing. It's a political expression of a category of people at a particular time of 1950. Whereas the Voting Rights Act refers to the protection of all people to vote equally, when you want to have a law passed, when you have a vested interest in placing somebody in office, and there's something that you can personally benefit from. But again, this is an expression, an obligation really of the United States to the people of 1950 and their descendants to ask the very simple question: do you want to continue to be part of this wonderful, great nation? Do you want to go independent, or do you want some other type of relationship as we have with the federated states, some type of compact of association? That's really what it is.
Now, there's argument in the previous Attorney General as well, and that started the argument as well in regards to this, and they said, but basically this lawsuit or this plebiscite basically is not a definitive action basically. Now, when you vote, it's not gonna, it's kind of like when we vote this November, okay? Whoever wins the top 15, that's definitive. They'll be in office. 2 years from now, governor, whoever runs, definitive, who get the higher vote basically will become that. This is basically, it's not a definitive vote, it's a desire. It's a desire, it's what we want. Expression.
It's a political expression.
Yeah, but not necessarily, I mean, we still have to go get the okay. So in that expression, not being a definitive action,
well, I like where you're going with the question, because actually it gets at the heart of another big problem with Davis's entire case, because there's an assumption being made the entire time that the 15th Amendment and the Voting Rights Act both reach the kind of expression that we're talking about here. This kind of non-binding, symbolic political expression is not actually prohibited by either the Voting Rights Act or the 15th Amendment. So we're saying, precisely as you've said, it's not definitive. It doesn't, like the Attorney General is just saying, it's not actually concretely changing legal relations among legal persons. So it's not installing any officers into any public agency, and it's not definitively deciding an issue of territorial law or policy. It's just an expression and a transmission of desire. The statute that Davis is challenging actually talks about that the only act that happens is that whatever is gets the majority vote, that desire is transmitted to the U.S. and to the United Nations. There's nothing else. What the U.S. does with that act is an entirely separate legal question. So that's why we believe, that he's wrong on the 15th Amendment and Voting Rights Act claims.
The United States could easily say, well, thank you very much, Guam legislature. This is a narrow expression of political view of a certain category of people, but Congress could say, we want everybody on Guam to be able to express this, and Congress could call for a full plebiscite vote, as they've done in Puerto Rico 3 times, and Puerto Rico just hasn't been able to get a majority for any type of status vote.
Actually, you've got 2 political candidates now saying, hey, we don't mind, if we're going to bail them out, might as well make them a state.
They're in some big trouble in Puerto Rico right now.
Big trouble. But so maybe let's not make reference to them, right? Yeah, so we won't be lumped
the big bear, as they call
There we go. We're going to pay some bills. We'll be right back. More about the plebiscite. Be right back.
This program is brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.
Love your flat screen all over again with enhanced HD TV programming from GTA. Explore over 100 HD channels with the sharpest picture and sound quality you can only get from Guam's leader in high definition. That's 3 times more channels than Docomo. Watch live news coverage like never before. Experience the thrill of the game in the comfort of your own living room. With so many HD networks, movies, cooking shows, comedies, you'll never want to leave your couch. GTA, your island, your HD network.
Smiling is a natural response to joy, happiness, and excitement. Your smile reveals a lot about who you are. A healthy, beautiful smile can brighten your appearance and be an invitation to conversation and friendship. It is often one of the first things people notice about you. Now, Thanks to the advancements in dentistry, you can have the smile you have always wanted, giving you an improved smile that looks and feels great.
My silver fillings that I have, they're getting older in my mouth and I need to replace them. So I've started to do that and I've replaced them with the white fillings and I've had really great success with that. It looks good, they feel natural, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the bleaching. I want a white look all around my mouth.
It's time for Shop Guam 2015. The Guam Visitors Bureau and more than 100 Shop Guam partners have teamed up to bring back the Shop Guam Festival, going on now until February 15th. This annual interactive shopping experience highlights Guam as a fun, fashionable, and diverse shopping destination, while giving our local community access to more than 200 deals and discounts, with new only on Guam and event features. Look for the Shop Guam logo at your favorite stores. Download the free Shop Guam mobile app and enjoy incredible discounts on shopping, dining, and entertainment.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
The plebiscite is our topic tonight. I have the Attorney General of Guam, Liz Barrett Anderson, and Julian Uggan, Attorney Julian Uggan tonight. We're talking about, of course, the plebiscite, Guam's plebiscite. Prior to going to a break, Attorney General, we're talking, of course, about the classification. I mean, the folks who are able to vote versus not, and it's not based on race, but on the date. Now, you were talking about the Voting Rights Act. Okay. Now, you're as a layman. Okay. So, what the Davis argument is about now, it'd be valid if they were to deprive him from registering to vote for, say, for example, this upcoming election. Okay. Versus a plebiscite. So what's the difference again in those two? If even if the plebiscite were a definitive vote and something that's not just our expression or a desire, but if in fact this was a definitive, whatever prevails is the status that we're going to get, would that be any different if that were the case? Versus, of course, again, this election coming up where top 15, they'll be definitive, and of course, other situations that or other measures that may be on the ballot.
I like to describe it in terms of substance. Is it a substantive vote?
Okay.
Will it change something? Will it add to the law? Will it put somebody in office? Will it make a great change in your society and the government that you work under? That is a substantive issue, and every citizen has a constitutional right to a vote on substantive matters. The issue here is this is not a substantive matter. It's a political expression. But I'll be honest with you, Jesse. I'm here, and Julian is working as a Special Assistant Attorney General to defend this statute. And the legislature could tomorrow enact another statute and say, well, we want to do everyone's vote. So I understand Mr. Davis, and I understand those who express their discontent. Well, why am I not being asked? Madeline Berdalio cannot vote in this because she doesn't fit the temporal category. But yet our Congresswoman has done so much for this island. I would love to know exactly of the three options, what would her option be? So the disenfranchisement, or the sense of disenfranchisement, is understandable. What I'm doing is defending a statute in court in this litigation, And I believe we do have a very strong and a very viable motion for summary judgment. But we seem to be locked into this one little lawsuit. Why aren't there other remedies available out there?
No, absolutely. Now, Julian, some of the citations of cases that were cited, I think the Rice Cayetano case, all that. Now, how is that the argument? How is it relevant to this or irrelevant to this case?
I'm glad you asked that. Rice versus Cayetano is a case decided by the U.S. Supreme Court in 2000, and it arose out of a rancher named Harold Rice who sued the governor of Hawaii, then Ben Cayetano, for the right to vote in an election to install officers in a state agency. That agency was Office of Hawaiian Affairs. So at issue in that case was an election run by the state for the sole purpose of installing public officials into a public agency. Therefore, there's a clear analogy, a clear distinguishing. The case is so unlike this case. So the plaintiff relies so heavily on Rice while omitting several critical distinctions that make that case that case inapplicable in this case. For example, Guam is the plebiscite at issue is not trying to place, as the AG said, any public officer, any territorial officer into any territorial agency.
Or making any substantive change.
Or making any substantive legal change. If it were doing so, this would actually be an entirely different lawsuit. But this particular lawsuit is not amenable to analogies to Rice versus Cayetano because that case simply doesn't apply. And the 15th Amendment, that the U.S. Supreme Court explicitly held in that case that to deny that the plaintiff in that case to vote in that particular kind of state election was unconstitutional under the 15th Amendment because it was an election within the meaning of the 15th Amendment, unlike this case, which is not.
To comparing apples to oranges. Basically.
And so we're essentially like the plaintiff does that a lot in the pleadings. Davis has drawn analogies or offered analogies to the court to consider, even civil rights cases, famous cases brought in a very different historical context. So we are arguing throughout our pleadings that those cases are simply inapposite. They don't apply to the particular plebiscite at issue in this case.
Now, even when let's advance forward, June comes, you appear before the before the court. Now, the previous AG as well has argued the fact that it's not ripe. There's really no date scheduled, and I doubted that that June will come and there will be a date. I know the governor's pushing to 2017 to be a ripe year for a plebiscite to happen, but that's not concrete yet. We still have to get the educational process out. So there's no definitive date at this point. Previous AG had argued the fact again that they've talked about dates. They've talked about elections, but it's yet to happen. And I doubted that June will come, and so that argument still be relevant. I think
it's been over. When was that passed? 1998.
Ever since.
Yeah, and we haven't had an election since then. I know one of the difficulties that the Election Commission has is meeting the standard of
the percentage, right?
The percentage, right? And I have to, give the Election Commission a lot of credit. They are really making a strong push. So once they meet that, then there has to be a process for education, and then a process, and it's not cheap. I think this is going to be very, very costly. So it's expensive.
Yeah, no.
I wish Congress would just give us the money for this, because they gave the other island, you don't want me to mention, $4 million in the mid-90s to do their third plebiscite. They gave them $4 million. I wish they'd give us some kind of
don't get me started on that, because was it they just passed the omnibus
the other
bill.
island?
No, the omnibus bill in regards to compensating the Iran hostages, former hostages, compensation, for that. And how about
you read through that entire massive bill?
But how about our war reparations, right? Yeah. So
that's not good.
Right? No, that's not good, right? That's another case you can argue about. But so anyway, come June, Julian, what do you expect now? Should we not prevail in this, and we have an opportunity again to go appeal this, right? To maybe even the U.S. Supreme Court. knowing at this point that they're still more conservative than liberal in this, and you know, because even some of the cases cited in regards to other cases not related to this, like the territories voting for president, they're still citing cases when the Supreme Court was really a racial court, or really racist, you know, when they came out with opinions being heavily on the racial side. But quoting cases, I mean, our president is quoting cases from that, knowing again it's still the balance of the heavier-handed conservative side. Yeah. What are our chances? I mean, the arguments are good. You got
You're
great
talking about
arguments.
the Supreme Court?
Talk about U.S. Supreme Court.
Oh, that's not fair. You know, because a lot is involved.
Yeah,
and you're right. We are a very diverse United States Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, before we ever get to the doors or the stairs of the Supreme Court, we are going to be so well prepared, because the Attorney General's office and the National Association of Attorneys General help us to prepare very, very well. I'll tell you this, Jesse, if we, and you're right, my thought is we take it all the way to the Supreme Court, and I'm going to be very proud to be with this young man sitting there. I've been at the Supreme Court, and this was on the Narangas case when I was Attorney General before, arguing to protect the territory of Guam from civil rights lawsuits. And we were successful in the Narangas case. I sat there at the table, and I'm going to be very proud if we end up in the Supreme Court. I'm very confident our motion for summary judgment, though.
I'm not saying that. I'm not judging, you know, again, your abilities or capabilities or not.
Are you just saying what happens if we go over there?
You know, just the what is, and I think we have a strong case. But again, there are some things, you know, whatever their ideologies are, he is beyond our control, right?
He might have already been studying all this. He's doing his homework already.
If I could just add something, even before the U.S. Supreme Court, it's Ninth Circuit review. And I'm quite confident because there's a line of precedent that's really helpful to our case. The Ninth Circuit decided in the early 90s, Wobble versus Villacrucis. And in that case, and that was also a constitutional case that was brought on the grounds that the land alienation provisions restricting permanent and long-term interest in real estate in the NMI to people of NMD descent was race-based and unconstitutional. And in that case, the court rejected the equal protection argument and said, no, it's not race-based because the Bill of Rights and because unincorporated territories are they're unique. They occupy unique space within American constitutional law. So you can't just assume, legally speaking, that the Constitution applies in the way it would in other jurisdictions. And so that's the heart of our case and our defense in this case, is that the insular cases, you know, where in some ways they often show up as the villain historically, but in this case, in some ways they're not the villain, because in the past, the U.S. Supreme Court and the Ninth Circuit has also confirmed consistently over decade after decade that an unincorporated territory is constitutionally unique. So therefore, we are constitutionally unique, and as long as the Guam legislature is not deviating from the definition provided by Congress itself, we're good. So that's the argument that Congress actually created the class.
The argument that Julian is just making is being made through other insular territories of how we are treated in terms of what are the arguments that apply, that are applicable to states but don't apply to the insular territories. It's a completely different argument.
I got to take a quick break, but one of the episodes we'll be talking about, of course, is whether we're domestic or international, right? Be right back.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Moss.
When you come to Chuck E. Cheese's, you can see what's new.
New fun! New games! New cousins! What's new? New awesomeness!
Where a kid can't be a kid.
Blacksmithing. Precise, essential, timeless. Forging its place in history for from one generation to another, molding, shaping, transforming the ordinary into art. Each strike, each spark ignites a story of who I am, who we were, and who we are as a community, as Pacific Islanders. At the 2016 Festival of Pacific Arts,
we will share our story.
New year, new rides. Cars Plus New Year's sales event. For a limited time only, make no payments for 90 days. That's right, no payment for 90 days. The spacious award-winning Hyundai Santa Fe save $4,000. The redesigned Hyundai Tucson save $4,000. The luxurious Genesis by Hyundai save $7,500. Now's the time to buy from Cars Plus during our New Year sales event. And if we mention no payment for 90 days, get to Cars Plus and Mighty today before your favorite Hyundai is sold. Pre-apply at carsplusguam.com. Cars Plus, driven by you.
The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
We're back with Guam Attorney General Liz Barrett Anderson, and of course, and Attorney Julian Uggan. Plebiscite is our topic tonight, and we just got to close off. But anyway, what are we looking at? Real quick, come June.
We're June, which I don't. Hopefully, we don't make it to June. That we
we
have an argument sometime in January, February, for our motion for summary judgment. I want to tell you, I'm going to be very proud to sit there with Julian arguing. He has written a masterpiece of a brief. So I'm very proud of him. I also want to say that he is now going to be teaching at Richardson School of Law. We have a Chamorro Law professor. I'm so proud of that.
We are proud. Definitely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And if we're successful in the case, I'm sure that Mr. Davis will want to take it up to the Ninth Circuit. So no matter who wins or loses on this matter, it's going to take it to the next step. We'll be back at the Ninth Circuit. And then I have 3 more years as Attorney General, so hopefully I'll be back at the Supreme Court of the United States as well.
And this could very well end at
I
the
wish
U.S.
Mr.
Supreme Court.
And I've said this many times, I wish Mr. Davis the best of luck, and I hope he wishes us as well.
There we go.
Okay.
Absolutely. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate you being with us. But join us again, because the next episode, and Julius will be, Julian will be joining us again as well for the episode for medicinal marijuana.
Okay.
And he's again guy as well. See you next week. It's good night for now.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E.